Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is going to be very eventful because I'm going to take you through a glute and hamstring workout. At the moment it's quite popular. A lot of people love training their glutes and their hamstrings. So I thought before I start my session, I'm going to talk to you a bit about why it's so important to know what exercises that works for you, why it's so important to also choose the exercise that you find challenging at times, especially if we're looking at maybe a Bulgarian split squat. That does help with your glute development. Now, because you're going to also be in the lengthening range. But what I tend to see a lot of people do is they'll focus on maybe a hip thrust, then a Bulgarian split squat, because for them, they find it easier to lock into a hip thrust or a glute drive machine than actually challenge themselves with a Bulgarian split squat. So I'm here to say to you guys, take it step by step, try not to overthink it, get a personal trainer or get a really good online coach who can talk you through the movements via video and really understand your foot positioning, where your chest needs to be, where your flexion needs to be from the knees. And you really need to possibly, if you find it hard to engage when it comes to a hip thrust or Bulgarian split squats, to maybe pause in the lengthening range or pause at the top end of the range. So no matter what machine you're using or any free weights you're using or body weight, think about how you do the exercise, think about your form and your technique and stick with it. Don't just go, oh, you know what, I'm going to do Bulgarians for a couple of weeks and that's it. Progress at those lifts, because when you progress in those lifts and you get better with form, execution and technique, you will then improve. And what I'm not saying is batter it and go super heavy where you're hurting your joints. What I am saying is take it step by step and do what's right for you. You might get some days where you're feeling stressed, burnt out, overwhelmed, tired, lethargic. Then take that time to either rest, have a deload and just do your body weight, and just know that progress comes over time. So I would say find the selections of glute exercise that work for you and run the numbers up gradually over time. Don't overexhaust yourself and just know that this is a journey. What you do today will pay off in the long run. And you have to remember, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And that being that progressive overload for a period of time is what's going to help you and your physique change. So whatever that may be and what you're working on right now, just bear that in mind. Form, execution, tempo, technique, and pick the right exercises that are suitable for you, and don't be scared to try them out. Because once you take the first step in understanding what you need to do to develop a certain area, that's a game changer in itself. And also get someone that knows what they're talking about, that can give you hints and tips, and if anything will guide you through what you need to do to get the end result. So if you are listening to me right now and your areas is to grow your glutes and your hamstrings, by all means, have a look at what I'm doing, but also really try out the exercise and execution and see if it works for you. And if you're stuck and you need hints and tips, then write in the comments below and I'll reach out to you, and I'll even give you access to my eBook 3G's Glute Growth Guide. And that way you can read through it in your own time, you can watch the videos back and you can take it all in your stride. And last and not least, guys, it's a skill to train, so don't think it's monkey see, monkey do. And make sure you get someone that can talk you through and guide you through the workouts, not, okay, I'm on a hip thrust, all you do is thrust your hips. Actually get someone that knows what they're talking about and also can understand your body a lot more after a few sessions or watching a few videos that can give you the hints and tips you need to progress your lifts and for you to understand the form and technique and what it takes to grow those areas if you're looking to building muscle in those areas. Okay, so now I'm going to take you through a glute grind. I'm going to stop being a chatty patty because that's all I know, and I'm going to get moving. Okay guys, so I like to train legs sometimes with my trainers off. For me it's a lot better, so that's what I'm going to do. So we're doing the hip abductors, and with the hip abductors I slightly lean my chest forward. I always make sure at all times my hand is either on the handles or just slightly in front. Sometimes I actually leave it on my shoulders, and then as I'm coming out with my knees, I'm gonna pause, and just put my hands here just for more to you guys. I pause here, contract, 1, 2, and then come in slightly and nice and slow for my tempo work, and then I come out again and pause. When I do this for a few reps, my body them is on fire, and it's shaking, and it's then ready for lift off. Woo! And also, when I like to train a specific area, I love to stretch in between. What I mean in between, more or less the working sets, and hydrate, and then go again. So, welcome to the hip thrusting. What I normally do, and what I would say to you guys is try it out and see if this works for you. I always bring my toes out to the side. I don't have it in a frontal position. And what I like to do is make sure my chin is on to my collarbone and my neck's not hanging in, just loitering around. I don't even know why I did that, but you know what I'm trying to say, my neck's not flapping, and I ensure I'm thrusting up with my hips at all times, okay? Now, what I do not do when I'm thrusting my hips is actually arch my lower back. I round up my glutes, so therefore I'm getting a better engagement. If I arch my lower back while I'm thrusting the weight up, I guarantee the people that do that, they find that the weight transfers onto their lower back, and that's where you can get soreness or you can actually injure yourself, okay? So always make sure my hips where they're meant to be, I'm bringing my glutes in, and my back's not arched, my back's nice and straight. I drive up, and for me, I come out down slowly, not too fast, and I then come up again. And as you can see, look at that. They're shaking. They're on fire. And also guys, think about your breath work, mind muscle connection as well. Think about that too. And just stop butchering the hip thrust or the glute drive, because it's just, I see it all the time. And just think about tempo, rep ranges, and what works for you. And don't just always ego lift, and think about how much is on the glute drive. Right, let's squat. My knees are aligned always with my hips. I ensure my knees are going to be going frontal position and just in front of me. I make sure my toes are slightly out for me. And what I do is bring my knees forward, my glutes nice and low, and then from here, I propel up through my heels. Always make sure when you're using the Smith machine that you're in the middle part of the bar. And also don't be afraid to ask for a spot if you need one. And anyone that you see around that is free whilst they're resting. So I'm going to unclip like so. And when I do it, I always make sure I'm going to do an inhale on the way down and then exhale on the way up. I'll do that again. Inhale on the way down and then exhale on the way up. And then what I do tend to do in my sessions is always pause here, gives me more strength,